Some discoveries are strange, but eventually explained. Others never get that resolution. They sit in scientific papers, museum archives, or remote locations, quietly breaking the rules we think reality follows. These are not stories you hear all the time. They are real discoveries that don't fit neatly into history, science, or logic. And in some cases, the deeper researchers look into them, the less sense they make. In 2014, researchers monitoring seismic activity in Antarctica picked up something they weren't looking for: a repeating low-frequency sound coming from deep beneath the ice. At first, it was assumed to be shifting glaciers or tectonic movement, but the pattern didn't match anything known. The signal repeated in consistent intervals, almost like a pulse, and appeared to originate from a fixed location beneath miles of ice. What made it even stranger is that the frequency behaved more like a mechanical or biological rhythm than a natural geological process. Follow-up studies suggested it could be ice movement interacting with subglacial lakes, but no model has successfully recreated the exact pattern. To this day, it remains logged as an unexplained acoustic anomaly, a structured signal deep under one of the most isolated places on Earth with no confirmed source. In 2019, archaeologists working near Kalambo Falls in Zambia uncovered something that forced them to pause immediately. Two large logs deliberately notched and fitted together, forming a structural joint. That might not sound shocking until the dating came back to around 300,000 years old. That places the construction long before modern humans were believed capable of building anything even remotely complex. The shaping of the wood showed clear tool use, intentional cutting, and precise placement, suggesting planning and design, not random arrangement. At that time in history, humans were thought to be using simple tools at best, not engineering interlocking wooden structures. There are no other confirmed structures like this from that era, which means either early humans were far more capable than we thought, or this is evidence of behavior we don't yet understand. In the 1970s, scientists analyzing uranium from Oklo in Gabon discovered something that shouldn't exist. The uranium had already undergone nuclear fission. Further investigation revealed that the site had functioned as a natural nuclear reactor nearly 2 billion years ago. While the official explanation is that groundwater moderated the reactions, allowing fission to occur naturally, the precision of the system is what makes it unsettling. The reactions occurred in cycles, starting and stopping in a controlled way, and the waste products remained contained in a manner strikingly similar to modern nuclear storage methods. Even today, replicating those exact conditions is extremely difficult. It's considered natural, but it behaves in a way that feels engineered, which is why it continues to be one of the strangest geological discoveries ever made. In 1944, a 10-year-old boy in Illinois reportedly broke open a lump of coal and found a small, perfectly shaped metal object inside. The coal itself was estimated to be hundreds of millions of years old, meaning whatever was inside it would have had to exist before the coal formed. The object was described as a bell-shaped brass alloy piece with intricate engravings, not something that forms naturally. Similar reports have surfaced over the years, often dismissed individually, but what makes this case stand out is the documentation and the consistency of the description. Skeptics argue contamination or misidentification, but no clear explanation has ever accounted for how a manufactured-looking object could be sealed inside ancient coal. If even one of these cases is accurate, it suggests something existed long before it should have. In 2021, scientists studying the deep ocean floor in the Pacific discovered something that directly contradicts what we understand about life: oxygen being produced in complete darkness. Normally, oxygen production requires photosynthesis, which requires sunlight. But in this case, oxygen was forming in environments thousands of meters below the surface where no light reaches. The source appeared to be chemical reactions involving polymetallic nodules on the seabed, but the process didn't fully match any known reaction capable of producing oxygen in those quantities. Even more concerning, this dark oxygen could be supporting ecosystems that shouldn't exist according to current biological models. The discovery doesn't just challenge one idea, it challenges the entire assumption that sunlight is required for oxygen generation and opening the door to completely unknown biological or chemical systems. In the 1930s, archaeologists near Baghdad discovered a small clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod, a setup that, when filled with an acidic liquid, can produce an electrical charge. The object dates back to around 250 BCE. That alone is strange, but what makes it even more unsettling is that there's no clear evidence the people of that time had any documented understanding of electricity. Tests have shown the device can generate a measurable amount of voltage, leading some to believe it may have been used for electroplating or other unknown purposes. Others argue it may have had a completely different function, but the design is so specific, so close to a basic battery, that it's difficult to dismiss. It suggests knowledge that doesn't align with the historical timeline we've accepted. In 2008, scientists drilling deep into the Earth's crust in South Africa discovered something shocking. Living microorganisms nearly 3 kilometers below the surface, isolated from sunlight, oxygen, and surface ecosystems. These organisms weren't just surviving, they were thriving, feeding on chemical energy from radioactive decay in the surrounding rock. Some estimates suggest these life forms have been isolated for millions of years. What makes this discovery so unsettling is that it proves life can exist in environments previously thought completely uninhabitable. It also raises the possibility that entire ecosystems could exist deep underground, completely separate from surface life. It doesn't just change how we view Earth, it changes how we think about life existing elsewhere in the universe. In the 1960s, a man renovating his home in Turkey knocked down a wall and discovered a hidden passage. That passage led to something massive, an underground city known as Derinkuyu. It extended multiple levels deep and could have housed up to 20,000 people, complete with ventilation shafts, storage rooms, and living spaces. While underground shelters are known throughout history, the scale and complexity of Derinkuyu is what makes it strange. It required advanced planning, engineering, and coordination, yet the exact origins and timeline of its construction remain unclear. There are theories, but no definitive answers about who built it or how such a massive project was completed with the tools available at the time. It's not just an underground structure, it's an entire hidden world that existed beneath people's feet. In 1936, a couple hiking near London, Texas, discovered a rock formation that, when broken, revealed part of a hammer embedded inside. The surrounding rock was estimated by some to be over 100 million years old. The hammer itself appeared to be made of iron with a wooden handle, partially mineralized over time. Critics argue the rock could have formed around the hammer more recently, rather than the hammer being as old as the rock itself. But metallurgical analysis showed the iron was unusually pure compared to modern standards, adding another layer of mystery. While many scientists dismiss it as a geological oddity, no single explanation has fully resolved how a man-made object ended up encased in material that appears far older than human history. In 1976, in Laetoli, Tanzania, a team led by Mary Leakey discovered a trail of fossilized footprints preserved in volcanic ash. These prints were dated to around 3.6 million years ago and are widely considered some of the earliest evidence of bipedal walking. But what makes them so unsettling is how modern they look. The footprints show a fully upright gait, a defined arch, and a walking pattern nearly identical to modern humans. According to the standard timeline, humans with this level of anatomical structure shouldn't have existed yet. The prints are typically attributed to Australopithecus, but their stride and foot shape don't perfectly match what we would expect. It's one of those discoveries where the official explanation exists, but it doesn't completely fit, and the more closely you examine them, the more they seem like footprints left by something that shouldn't have been there. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Livia Kozlovsky, and I will see you again soon. Bye!